Good afternoon, crafty peeps. So I am so excited and so ready to do our first Craftology box tutorial. So today we are going to make this little dahlia. So this dahlia is actually about 12 by 12. Had no idea it was until now I'm looking at my scoreboard and it fits on there. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, so we will go ahead and get started. Okay, so these are some of the things that you're going to need. If you have a color cardstock that you want to use, and this time I used green on that one, but this time I think I'm going to do a little bit more of a kind of like a country look, I guess you would say. So you're going to need approximately 4 sheets of 12 by 12 paper. And you could use a shorter piece, but I don't know how many squares that would make because I've only been using the 12 by 12. But either way, you'll just need to know how many squares you're going to need. So then you're going to need a circle die, or actually two, and I'm going to show you in just a second. These are pretty small, or you can draw one out yourself. Now, in your Craftology kit, you should be getting a piece of lightweight chipboard that you will be able to do these two little circles with, okay? If you have a big kit. Otherwise, you can take anything, even your score tape, okay? You could trace that out and cut it. Do one smaller one and then one larger one, okay? So this one is 4 inches. And I'm assuming that this one is 3.5. So a 4-inch and a 3.5-inch. So if you have any other kind of punches or circle dies or whatever you want to do, this will be fine. They're not going to see this, so it's not a big deal. You could probably even get away with only doing one. But for what I'm going to show you, for me, it was a little bit easier to have two, okay? So, let's start off with cutting our paper, scoring it, and cutting it. So this is pretty easy. Our first our first 2 sheets are going to be scored at 4 and 8. Okay, sorry, I was just double scoring it. This paper's kind of thick. And then you're going to turn it one time counterclockwise. Sorry, my camera is like a little messed up there. Sorry. There. That's a little better. Okay, so we're going to do it again at 4. Ah, I didn't mean to do that. Did you see me do that, boo-boo? Uh-oh. Okay, and then 8. Okay, so that gives you 9 squares at 4 inches, okay? So on your second one, I'm not actually going to cut it because I'm going to line mine up. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to get out my cutter, and I'm just going to hold the two together and cut them this way, okay? To me, it just seems a little bit simpler this way. Make sure I have it lined up. Put that to the side. Oops. And I'm just going to cut on those score lines. And I'm going to hold these papers pretty tight so that they don't get, mixed up. Now, I've seen a lot of people do this tutorial using rectangles. Squares work just fine for me, so I don't know. Okay. Okay, so then I'm going to get a lightweight piece of chipboard, and I'll be right back because you don't need to see me do that on screen. I'm just going to be making a lot of racket. I'm going to go ahead and make my 2 circles. Remember, 4-inch and 3.5-inch. This was the Spellbinder's Nestability S as in Sam 4-114, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just did this, and my chipboard was a little bit kind of heavy, so I basically had to take it and I ran it through twice. Then it still didn't go through, so I had to turn the cardboard over and I could see the impression of the circle, and then I lined them up and I did again, and still it was really rough and I ran it through twice again. So what I would do is I would just use 2 pieces of heavyweight cardstock, and then basically do 2 circles of this one and 2 circles of this one, and then glue them together. I mean, glue the 2 pieces together to make a whole one, because the chipboard's a little bit complicating. Okay, so now we have approximately 18 squares, okay? And I have seen other people do this. I've seen people do tutorials, but they didn't tell me how many squares I needed. And they didn't even give me the measurements of the squares. So I'm doing that for you in this tutorial. And I don't even think they use squares. To be honest with you, they use rectangles. And I'm not doing that. So here's my score thing. Now, to make this a little bit simpler on me, I'm just going to line this up on the 3 on one of them. And I'm just going to do a tiny little score line about 1 inch, if even that. Let me see what I just did here. I'm going to see if that's an actual inch. Yes, it's 1 inch. Okay. So this is going to help you, okay, when you are actually making your little cones, okay? They're not going to see this at all. So I wouldn't worry about that. Now you have 2 options. You can either use your art glitter glue. Well, you have 3 options, really. Hold on, I'm trying to find a... Where are my paper clips? How strange is that? Okay, anyway, well, here's one. Okay, so these are kind of the options that you have. So you could use your art glitter glue. And I'm just going to pull off my little lid there. Okay, my little pin. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. Okay, because art glitter glue is amazing. I'm just lazy. Okay, so now you have 1 cone. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do my little like 1 inch thing there just to get my point. And I just found that this was a lot easier to do. Your other option is you can get out your score tape. And I'm going to get that out real quick. Okay. Sorry, I'm being kind of crazy right now. But, okay. It's stuck in there, huh? That's some good tape. Okay. So then, let me see here. Yep. Okay. I know exactly how I want to do this. Okay. So then you can take your score tape and just put it along here. Okay. And then again, we're going to pinch that together there because it's just a lot easier to do it that way. And then you can take it on the inside. So that's option number 2. Okay. Now, option number 3. Let me put this, let me do my 1/2 inch score. Well, I just don't like that one. Okay. I like my thin bone folder. I know I'm a weirdo. And then this is awfully thick paper. Okay. And then I can use my glue gun. My only problem is with the glue gun is that some of it will seep out most likely, and then you'll be able to see that, and then you'll have to go back there and peel it all out. But, you know, that's okay. And if it's not closed down at the bottom, that's okay. They're not going to see that. Trust me. You didn't see it on the one I just showed you. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I'm going to do all of these, and then I will be right back. Right now, we're just doing the 4-inch ones, so I will be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. So with my 2 circles, I drew dots at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock, okay? And the same on the other one. And so this will help you align your little babies here. So I'm going to move my smaller one out of the way. I'm still working on just the larger dahlia at this point. Okay, and I'm going to move this up here. So I'm going to get some of this fuzz off here. So I'm going to take my bone folder. What is my problem? My bone folder, and I'm going to mash it down just a little bit here. Okay, I would say that's probably about 1.5 inches. Okay, just to kind of, you know, make it where I can attach it here. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my glue with my glue gun. I'm going to put a little strip, and I'm going to go ahead and, whoops, and attach it here. Okay. Now, remembering where I did my same one at 1.5, I'm going to mash this one down. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to align it right next to this one. I've seen people staple them together, not together on here, but what I'm saying is they stapled this down. I don't think that step is necessary if you use your bone folder. Here we go. Oops. And okay, so now yours is going to look something like this. I actually had 2 squares left over, and one of them I messed up. So I just have 1 square left over, so you can just put it aside. You may not. You may want to fill in all your spaces or something like that. But now we're going to go ahead and we are going to start making squares that are 3.5 by 3.5. Instead of 4-inch, just to make them a little bit shorter and make it a lot easier than having to do all this little hot mess right there. So I don't know why it looks so crazy, but definitely maybe if you have a stapler, you could go ahead and staple them together. You know what I'm saying? Like staple this piece and then glue it on there. But this is how it's going to look on the back. So right now it kind of reminds me of a sunflower at this point. Okay, so also before we start on the next one, if you want to go ahead and distress your edges on this one, go ahead and do it now, or you could wait till you finish the other half and then distress it. Just don't forget to distress it, because once you have them on top of each other, it's going to be a lot harder to get into these back ones. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and distress my edges. I'm going to use the Tim Holtz walnut stain. Oh no, maybe not walnut stain. I'm going to use a Tim Holtz tea dye, and I will be right back. Hey crafty peeps, so we are on step 2 of our little dahlia flower project, and we're going to start making our 3.5-inch little pieces for our flowers. So we're going to get out another 12 by 12 piece of paper. I decided to keep mine with the same cardstock color, but you don't have to do that. So I'm going to score it at 3.5 all the way down. And then I'm going to score it at 7. And 10.5. And then you'll have an extra piece left over, and you can actually just go ahead and cut that off now, and then we'll turn it counterclockwise because I like to use these extra little pieces for belly bands. I do not like to waste paper. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that little piece off. And then I'm going to turn it, well actually, let me cut it one more. Kind of got that little hangover edge and I hate that. Okay. Got my little sliver there. And then I'm going to turn it counterclockwise and I'm going to score it in the same spots. So 3.5, 7, and 10.5. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I probably either A, discard that, or B, keep it to make little round pieces. Sometimes I like to use those. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and cut our squares up. And right now I'm just doing one sheet because I'm not exactly sure just yet how many I'm going to need, because I don't want to waste any paper. So I only may need to do 2 more strips, and instead of using the whole sheet and wasting it. So I don't want to do that. Unless you're going to make several of these, then definitely go ahead and continue on. And actually this one had a tiny bit of a sliver that I went over, so I'm going to cut that off. And, oops, I was way off on that. That would have been hideous. Ah, okay. So then, just like I did on the first one, I'm going to go ahead and take that little corner and I'm going to go down about 1 inch just to make it easier for me to do the rolling fold. Yeah, that's 3.5. Okay. For a minute there, it looked kind of strange, and I thought, oh my goodness, it's not 3.5, but it is. And it really doesn't matter, I mean, which line you pick here. You obviously know that. We're just trying to do that little score line in the middle. If my cutter had one of those little score things, I definitely would have used that instead of this. Okay, so now the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and use my glue gun for, you know, time constraints, I'm going to go ahead and pinch it right down there at the bottom because they're not going to see that anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to go ahead and get it going in that cone motion. And get out my new glue gun that I just love. And I'm going to press down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish these up, and then I will be back. Okay, I'm back again. So I have my second smaller circle, and again, I marked my 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. And then I've only got one set of these so far that I've made, but I don't know exactly how many more I'm going to need. So, but by the time y'all watch this video, we'll know. But I'm going to go ahead and kind of mash these down with my bone folder right here just to make it easier to apply it. And then, sorry about all this glue stuck to my hand here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start applying these at the four corners, shall I say, even though there's no corner on a circle, but you all know what I mean. I love this little spatula, let me tell you. Okay, so basically you only need one more 12 by 12 sheet, and so far I've made 9 squares, and then remember I had one left over from earlier, and so that makes 10. And then so I'll be right back. Okay, sorry, slight technical difficulties. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, first of all, I'm going to get rid of all my strings again because I thought I had got them all and I didn't. So I am going to glue these two together, but I want to offset it a little bit, as you can see, like that. So I just know to hold that like that, and then you're going to need a lot of glue. I tell you, you're going to need a lot of glue for this little spot. And you're going to press it down until it is secure. Okay, I'm back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little Frankie paper, because I really like these little stars on the back, and I'm going to start on my small rosette. So I'm going to go at 2 inches, and I'm going to, oh, I think I got a piece of glue stuck on there. Okay, I'm going to score down at 2, and then I'm going to score down at 4, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut this at the 4-inch line. If I can see the line. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. And then I'm going to put it back on my scoreboard one more time. And then I'm going to score it at every 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 1/2, and so on and so forth. Okay. I'm going to put it back on my cutting, and I'm going to cut it at the 2-inch line. Now, this is a perfect time to ink your edges, and I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and use black, and I only have to do one side because they're not going to see the middle or the edge, the edges, these two sides. They won't see that. Okay. Now I'm going to start out my accordion, and I always start down because you'll see in a minute it will end up on, when you do 12 inches at a 1/2 inch each, it'll always end up on the down. So it just makes it easier when you're gluing the two together. One of the wonderful ladies from our scrapbookers group gave me this part idea. I normally butt them up together, but I'm going to try this one. I'm just going to put some glue on the little edge and then lay it right on top of each other. And then I'm going to pinch it down. Just do that real lightly because I don't want to mess up my creases. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other side. Same exact thing. Now I want my ink side on the outside and the non-ink side on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I have that right. I'm going to move my scoreboard out of the way, and then I have my trusty old little glue gun mat here that I just love. Or you can use your sorry about that, your craft mat, or you could also use a piece of wax paper to do this. So all you're going to do at this point is put your glue in the center and then hold it together until it's dry. So it'll be like a minute or two. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, so it's now dry, and I'm going to go ahead and take some craft paper, just some extra craft paper. I'm going to use my little scallop punch. It doesn't matter what size it is, just as long as it's small enough to fit in here. It doesn't even matter if that's off. They're never going to see this. This is just to make sure that it's extra secure on the back. I'm going to go ahead and add a little glue here and then tack it down and let it dry. Then I'm going to get out another glue gun piece because I forgot to do that a second ago. I knew today was going to be a day of bloopers. I have no idea why. Okay. So now I have my large dahlia. And you can put something right here if you want to. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that this time. I think I'm... Okay, so this has been a day of bloopers. So I end up having to cut 2 of my little things out because last time when I made my other one, I did not fill it up as much. So sorry for that. I will definitely be, by the time you see this portion of the video, you'll have known that I've already told you that I had to fix this. But anyway, I found some of this stuff that I had from last year, the little webbing, and I'm just going to take it and I'm going to try to go around the edges of my dahlia to kind of make it look spooky. I'm just going to stretch it out real good and get it to go around all these little corners. And I will either touch with my glue gun on the back of that or use my art glitter glue. I haven't got there yet, so I'm not sure how I'm going to manage doing that. Now they're not going to see the center, so I'm not as concerned about that. Okay. Now I'm going to try this again. I'm going to remove some of these glue globs and then re-glue it in the center here. And just hold it until it's completely dry. And just when you think it's dry, it's not. So hold it some more. And then I'll be right back with the next step. I'll probably just use my glue gun before I head off to go ahead and attach these little pieces back here just to make sure that they stay. And then I'll be back. Okay, so we're almost to the end of our tutorial. So I took one of the little ephemera cards and it looked something like this. And I used one of my smaller little dies and I cut out little Frankie here with my, it's actually the second size in on the medium or on the smaller Spellbinders dies that I used earlier. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of my Bow Bunny glitter glue that I got from Tamara on one of my other Craftology boxes, and I'm just going to go around the edges here. And I wanted to have that like kind of creepy, drippy look, so I'm not as concerned about how it's globbing on here. I want it to glob on there. And I think it's looking kind of cute because I like the purple. And then I'm going to set it in front of my little fan that I have over here and let that dry. And I'm kind of just like making it look as creepy, globby as I possibly can. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me so far. And I'm gonna put that in by the fan and let that dry. And of course, get the stuff off my finger here. And then close it up. Okay, then I grabbed, you know how we had these little, I called them card tags, and I saw the May I Be Frank, and I thought that would be really cute to put on there. Let me fix my exposure because it seems to be, no, that's, I don't want that. Maybe, here we go. The little May I Be Frank, and all I did was just edge my edges with the black distress ink. Okay, now, in the meantime, while my other thing is drying, I'm going to kind of figure out what looks to me as the best top piece. And I'm thinking, let's see, this way. That looks pretty good to me. I know I'm kind of strange that I got to figure all that out. And all I did was take a marker, a round marker, and I rolled it up and then went ahead and made these little impressions to kind of give this some area to glue. And then I'm going to have the May I Be Frank banner right in here. Let me see if I can get that to go down a little bit further. And these little, this stuff is kind of crazy. Okay, it's messy to work with, but you know what? It'll look great in the end. So I'm not that concerned. Put a little bit of glue on the back of this here. Not too much. And then I'm going to kind of hold it down without trying to burn myself. But I most likely will, because I've had every other blooper happen to me today. Okay. Get rid of some of those strings. And then, as I said before, I already kind of glued some of these to the back. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of fix that up again. Add a little more glue to ones that don't have too much glue on them. Let me see. Yeah, the rest are pretty much glued. Okay. Flip that back around. And then you can add some extra embellishments. Now, I am saving some of my embellishments for other tutorials. So I'm going to grab some little stars that I have. Or I don't, yeah, because I kind of like the idea of the, keep going with this little star theme that we've got going on here. I'm going to take my glue gun and just kind of randomly place these around. I'm actually trying to get these little glue strings off before I actually place it down. Because of this string here, it's going to kind of mess it up a little bit. And since my other thing is not dry yet, I'm not really sure where to place this. I'm going to put some here, but I'm not really sure where to place them just yet. So I'm just kind of randomly, I may just use 3. Let me see here. Maybe put a couple in the back. And then I'll put that's enough for now, but I'm sure I'm going to add more to this in a little bit. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and keep on dressing it up, and then I'll be back and I'll kind of explain what I did. But I know that y'all will come up with something amazing on your own following this tutorial, and I can't wait to see them. And I'll be back with the finished product. Okay, guys, I am back after all my disastrous bloopers for today. We are finally done. So basically, the only thing that I used from my stash were these little stars and then this one little spooky dude that I got on clearance last year, except for the stars. I got those just recently. But anyway, I hope you all like the project. If this is your first time tuning in on my channel, thank you for watching, and I hope that you subscribe and don't forget to comment. And also, please join us at Scrapbookers of CountryCraftCreations.com, and there still is time to get your kit. We only have a few more days left, and she only has a few kits left. So don't forget to order yours now, because we don't want you to miss out. I've got lots and lots of other creations that we're making. So visit www.countrycraftcreations.com, and I'll also have the link for this subscription kit down below, our Craftology box. So until our next video, thanks. Bye. Mwah.